So I'm on the road headed to Fairbanks, and I stopped in Healy to top off with gas. It was raining when I left the hotel down there, and it was pretty drizzly and, you know, cold, about 48 degrees, again, according to the bike's temperature gauge. But it has warmed up to about 50 now, and the rain has stopped, although the skies in front of me look pretty threatening. So I've had the camera off. I'm just going to keep the camera off, I think, for the rest of the day. Just get back to Fairbanks. You've already seen this road in a much nicer weather, so said we'll just head back without the camera. Along the way, I did stop for breakfast in this place that kind of reminded me of getting in a time machine. Not only was the place decorated like something from the 60s or 70s, but Perry Mason was playing on the television. But even though I felt like I just stepped out of the Wayback Machine, the food was good and it was reasonably priced. Alright, well that was good, even though I am way off of my diet. That's okay, I'm enjoying myself. And look, we got a little bit of sunshine coming out, so hopefully by the time I get to Fairbanks, we'll have a nice day. Well, I'm here. I made it to Fairbanks, although I was a little bit premature with my prediction of clear skies. They're not, but that's okay. Let's go see if I can check in. Well, of course, I got all checked into the hotel, and I've been there for a little while now, and it's time once again to go find some more to eat. So remember last time I was here in Fairbanks, I walked over here to Pioneer Park to go to the Alaska and Salmon Bake. And when I was there, I found a little taco place over here that looked like it would be nice to try this time around. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to walk over here to try that. And also, Kathy said she wants some kind of a souvenir. She said she wants a t-shirt or something like that that she can lounge around the house in. So go over here and see if they have anything over at one of these gift shops over here. Well, I poked around the Emporium a bit, but I didn't find anything I thought Kathy would like. Well, she said she wanted something cool, so I didn't see anything that fit that bill in there, so we'll check around a little bit more. Well, I don't see anything else, so I guess we'll go over here and check out the tacos. Alright, so I got my tacos, so let me turn this around and I'll show you what they are. So we've got what they call a cowboy over here. This is a Brazilian in the center, and then a jerk. That's with pork, the other two are with chicken. So we'll try these out and see how they are. Very good. This is the jerk. Now, I got the mild jerk. I'm not a real spicy guy, but it's quite good. Next up, we have the Brazilian. Again, very good. Different. And finally, let's do the cowboy. All right, well, that was good. 3 tacos for $15, so $5 a taco. But everything was nice and fresh. Everything tasted great. It was good. It's worth doing. So if you're here in Fairbanks and you're staying close to Pioneer Park here, like I am, over at the Best Western, well, walk over here and check these folks out. It's definitely worth doing. Yeah, I did it. I was reading back there how the Chena River, which is the river that we're going to walk across here in a minute, that runs right through the middle of Fairbanks, back in 1967, flooded and basically put the entire town underwater. Looking at the height of that sign back there, the river was about 20 feet above its normal level, and it just, again, flooded the entire city. So they built this huge flood control project to alleviate that, and I guess it's worked ever since. And this, well, that is the Chena River. Well, it's morning once again, and yeah, it's raining and it's a little chilly here in Fairbanks. Good news though is I'm headed to Tok today and the weather looks nicer there, so I don't have to get out of here for a while. I'm just going to hang out because I can't check in till 3 or so over there, and it's not that far. So we'll just hang out for a while, let it rain, and hopefully it'll stop before I actually hit the road. I'm not going to count on it though. Trying to outrun the rain this morning. Not quite doing it yet, but I'm in Big Delta, or actually at Delta Junction, and I'm going to walk over here to this little coffee bar, grab myself a coffee, and just sit down and have a little bit of a break. So while I was drinking my coffee, I checked my text messages, and my wife told me that she had gone to get some gas and her car died on her. So she was waiting on AAA, but luckily she finally got it started and got it back home where she could grab my truck. She's been using it most of the time, so oh gosh, she said nobody would help her at the gas station, which is ridiculous, right? So anyway, she got home and she's doing okay, but now of course I feel bad. Now, of course, as a good husband, I feel I need to be there to protect my wife. But the truth is, I don't. She can take care of herself. And there's not much I can do being 5,000 miles away. While I was back in Cantwell taking that day off on that dreary, rainy July 4th, I was feeling a little bit down. I was questioning, why did I ride all the way up here and I didn't even get to go into Denali National Park, which was one of the main things that I wanted to do. Now, of course, I can't do anything about the fires. It's nobody's fault, especially not mine. But still, I was questioning me getting on the bike and making this entire trip. So I figured that I needed to change plans up. I needed to figure out something different to do than I had done in the past. Now, my original plan once I got back to Tok was to head up Top of the World Highway, go through Chicken, take the ferry over to Dawson City, and then ride down through Carmax and so forth. But you know, I had done that before when I was up here with Peter and Steven in 2017. Now, in addition, if I stayed up north, it looked like it was going to be wet and cold for the next few days. But if I headed south down to Whitehorse, then the weather forecast looked pretty good. So that's what I decided to do. I canceled my reservation in Dawson City. I added a day on to my stay in Whitehorse, and while I was there, I would ride to Skagway, something I had never done before.
Arriving in Tok, I stopped to quickly fill up with gas and then headed over to Fast Eddie's for an early dinner. And while I was there, I met this young lady. This is Renee. She's been following me and I following her on Facebook. We're both headed up to Alaska at the same time. She's with the crew going all the way to Dead Horse.
So I made it to Tok, and I am at Fast Eddie's grabbing myself something to eat. And then we'll head down to, again, the Hideaway Inn Bed and Breakfast where I was the last time. It's a great little place, so I decided to go back again. So that's it for the day. Tomorrow's the big one, over to Whitehorse.
So, as I said, I'm back here at the Hideaway Inn Bed and Breakfast, and let me show you something in here in the bathrooms. I was just about to take a shower, right, and I looked at all of this here. I'm like, okay, how does all of this work? Right? And then I turn around and they have instructions how to operate the mysterious shower in the Mooseberry room. Thank God they have instructions.
All right, had a great breakfast, all loaded up. Now ready to hit the road and go and tackle that bumpy road. What a difference a few days make. I am flying through this area now. Had to pass a few people, but nothing like before.
I could probably show you an hour's worth of potholes and bumpy roads that I had to get through, but I think you get the point by now. But without a doubt, this trip through was much better than the last one. Eventually, I crossed the border and left my sticker on the Alaska sign. After that, well, a few more construction spots, and then eventually I would head towards Destruction Bay.
Well, I made it to Destruction Bay. All right, there's the lake out there. Got some gas. And I was going to go in here and go to the bathroom and maybe hang out, but I got here at the same time a busload of Amish people pulled in. Right? And they were why it took so long to get through customs up there. Everybody had to get checked, right? A whole busload of people. So now they're in there using the restrooms. No way. I just went out in the woods. So we're going to push on, see if we can make it to Haines Junction before they do.
Before anybody accuses me of not liking Amish people or wants to cancel me, that's not it. See, when you're an old guy and you need to go, well, the last thing you need is to stand in a line waiting to use the restroom. Also, these small restaurants and stores that you find along the Alakan Highway, they typically only have 1 or 2 people working. So when a big group comes in, well, it kind of throws them for a loop. As I said before, there are reasons we travel by motorcycle, and there are reasons we travel alone. Most of us like to avoid the crowds. I did make it to Haines Junction and the Cozy Corner Cafe before that busload of people. In fact, I never saw them again for the rest of the day. So I went in, I grabbed myself some lunch before making my way into Whitehorse to end the day.
Almost back to White House, a little less than an hour. Almost back to Whitehorse, a little less than an hour to go.
The next morning, on day 29, I got up and had some breakfast with a couple of other lonely guys. And then out in the parking lot, I met this gentleman. His name was Mike, and he was heading up to Tuktoyaktuk to see the Arctic Ocean at the end of the Dempster Highway.
My name's Michael Cowley. I'm Ontario, Guelph, Ontario, and I've come out here to Whitehorse. It's taken me a week. I met up with some buddies in Dawson Creek, British Columbia. 7 other fellows, brothers, plus a friend, and we've driven up from there to here, and they went, because of the weather, down to Skagway, and I'm going up to Tuktoyaktuk because I want to dip my foot in the Arctic Ocean. I mean, it's kind of a dumb little bragging right thing on my bucket list. So, I got this bike because it's built for that kind of a trip, and my old BMW that I have is a, you know, road cruiser type. Also, I got this bike because it weighs less than 500 pounds, and I can put it on the back of my RV because the tongue weight limit is 500 pounds. So, there are 2 purposes. So, my friend that I got it from is jealous as all heck because he wants to do this trip, and he says, "Send me pictures, send me pictures." He's taking the trip vicariously, just like what people do on YouTube.
Now, you're obviously, like me, a little bit of an older guy.
A little bit of an older guy.
So what makes you want to head up to Tuk, right, at this age?
At some point when I moved to Canada from the States 20 years ago, I did some provinces this way and I got a t-shirt that has all the provinces except Northwest Territories and Yukon. So now I've hit Northwest Territories and Yukon. When I found out about being in the Yukon, and this is the only road you can take in Canada to the Arctic, I thought that's the only road I'm going to take. You can't get, so I don't know. There's not any much really deep about it. It's just sort of an adventure, and I have the opportunity now to do some adventure riding. So.
Yeah, so kind of like climbing a mountain. You do it because it's there.
Yeah, pretty much. It's amazing, since I've been talking about it for the last 8 or 10 months to various people. Oh, this cousin of my wife says, yeah, I did an exchange up in Tuktoyaktuk. I didn't think anybody even heard of the place. But he says, say hi to the people that live up on the hill. Okay, yeah, they're probably all dead by now because that was 30 years ago. But anyway, so there's nothing, I wouldn't say compelling about that, other than that it's the northernmost point you can get to.
Just a challenge and something
on a motorcycle or on any vehicle.
Awesome. So now, are you camping while you're doing this?
Yeah. So I haven't camped. Yeah, I've camped on the way out. The last couple of days I've been with these Friesen brothers, and so they've put me up at their motels in the last two nights. But yeah, so I look on what's it called? Overlander,
iOverlander.
Yeah, iOverlander. Check out places. Go to them. It's a wonderful resource. Again, internet type stuff. So that's what I did all the way across Upper Peninsula of Michigan, western end of Minnesota, part south of Regina and Saskatchewan. Yeah, no, that's
kind of like saying Massachusetts.
Yeah, right. You got it. Saskatoon is so much easier, but Saskatchewan, yeah. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, all right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you. Have a lovely time.
All right.
Be safe out there.
Bet.
After finishing my chat with Mike, I of course climbed on the bike and started my ride down to Skagway. Let me tell you, this was just what I needed. I had been riding in so many just dreary and rainy days that I needed one of these days that was bright and blue and warm. And today, well, that was the day. And the scenery, well, it quickly became breathtaking. The lakes that I'm riding by have names like Tootsie, Bernard, and Summit. And the mountains, they're part of the Boundary Range, the highest peak being 7,799 feet, or 2,376 meters. The road into Skagway is Canada Route 2, or it's also known as the Klondike Highway. It runs all the way from Skagway, Alaska, up to Dawson City in the Yukon. The Klondike Highway was a very important trade route during the gold rush of the late 1800s. Today, Skagway has a population of about 1,200 people, according to the last census. But during the height of the gold rush, that population went up to about 10,000. Today, Skagway is a popular tourist destination for the cruise ships that are headed up to Alaska. On the day that I visited, there were 4 in port.
All right, I made it to Skagway. I was told by the border agent up there that it's a busy day here. They have 4 cruise ships in town right now. So, oh well, we'll walk around and see what we can see. Boy, the guy was right. It is busy here today. I did get me a couple of t-shirts from the Red Onion Saloon. That'll be Kathy's present. And then I'm going to try to find somewhere to eat, but I'm not sure where that's going to be that I can even get in. I may try something up on one of these side streets. It might be a little easier.
I was indeed able to find a restaurant off of the main street. As you can see, many of the restaurants and hotels are named after Skagway's colorful past. My original intent was to have some Alaskan crab legs, but I wasn't willing to pay the $85 a pound. So I ended up getting a $60 meal, but I have to say it was some of the best crab cakes and clam chowder I have ever had. After lunch, I thought about a little ice cream, but there was no way I was standing in that line.
All right, I think that's it. I think I've had enough of Skagway. A lot of little shops and stuff there. Everything is packed. The ice cream store was packed back there, so no ice cream today. So we'll get back on the bike and head back to Whitehorse. I came for the ride primarily anyway.
And what a great ride it was. When I got back to Whitehorse, I met this gentleman, another guy named Mike. He was on a Super Tenere, and I invited him to join me for dinner. We had a great evening. In the morning of day 30, I got up, went outside to check on the bike, and I ran into a guy who was driving his brand new Corvette all the way to Alaska. I warned him about the bumps and potholes between Whitehorse and Tok, and to this day, I wonder how he made out.
So one more day here in Whitehorse, and I've decided this is going to be a day to stay off the bike. So the bike's going to just stay covered today.
and then we'll get on the road tomorrow. Again, I got about 5 more days of, just riding, at least I think, until I, stop again. So we're going to stay off the bike and do a little walking today. I'm right off the main drag over here, so there's some things to see, so I think I'm going to do that. But first I'm going to go into this liquor store and see if they perchance have any cigars. No cigars, so that's all right. Well, I think there's a smoke shop up here, but we'll see. I don't need one right now anyway. But like I said, I'm just going to walk around town here and see what there is to see. Day 30 was a very interesting and eclectic day walking around Whitehorse. I stopped in the First Nations Cultural Center and saw an art display by Randy Nelson, a First Nation artist. Then I took a walk along the Yukon River. Checked out the residential school totem pole. And visited the McBride Museum of Yukon History. So overall here, I'm having a really successful morning. I'm getting to walk around and see Whitehorse a little bit. But I also found a Canadian post office, and so I was able to return the keys to the Bell 2 Lodge that I took with me. And it's taken a few days, but this is the first time I've really had a chance to get to a post office. Made it back to the hotel room with a little stop by Tim Hortons. Thank you, Todd. That gift card is still paying for itself, so I really appreciate that. On the way over here at Tim Hortons, I met that couple from Texas that I met down in Prince George. You remember them, the school teachers from the same town where my sister lives, although it turns out her kids didn't go to that same high school that they taught at. But we just had that hurricane come through, and hit the Houston area, and these poor folks here found out that their house had a bunch of trees that fell on it. The electrical lines got torn out and all kinds of things. So they've got a mess to clean up. So they are actually packing their bikes, or their bike and trailer, up in a U-Haul, and they're going to drive back, get back as fast as they possibly can. So I wish them good luck and a safe journey. And so I hope that by the time they see this, when I'm done, that they've been very successful in getting back home and getting everything back to working order. I know that's a real pain in the ass to have to go through that, but they seem to have a great attitude about it. They're going to do what they have to do. So, all right, guys, again, very, very good luck to you. I hope everything has worked out in getting your home back together. All right, so last thing I guess we'll do is, since I'm out here, let's check the bike, make sure it's still here. And of course, it is. Good morning. It is now day 31. I'm headed from Whitehorse to Watson Lake today. And, I have to tell you, I mean, I know a lot of guys, who are out here do these videos will only tell you the good things. They'll make everything look super special and all that kind of stuff. And, most of the time it is. But every once in a while you get a morning like today when you're just tired of packing, tired of doing this over and over again. And I've got another 22 days to do this. So, I don't know, when I get like that, I just gotta, take a deep breath and try to relax and work through it. But Man, I'm tired. You know, I've been off the bike for 2 days. Or at least haven't had to pack like this for 2 days because I've been in one place. So, I'm like, oh God, here I go again. But the thing is, it's just part of traveling like this, right? Whether you're staying in hotels like I am, or whether you're camping, right? Camping to me is even worse. You got even more stuff that you have to get on and off the bike. So it's just part of the deal. You kind of have to get used to it. You have to deal with it. And you know, I think the big thing is just that I've been sitting here, haven't had to move for a couple of days. So I've gotten out of the habit. So, well, it's time to get back in again. Now, I've had 2 days of sunshine here. It's been awesome. Well, today, when I need to get back on the road, yep, it's going to rain again. So, in fact, it's starting to sprinkle right now. So, we'll get all this stuff packed up and get out of here. I think I'm going to hit some thunder showers later on today, too. So, all right, last load. Off we go. Yeah, I didn't miss the rain. So I made it to Teslin. I'm gonna grab some breakfast here, and then I got about, I don't know, 3 more hours or so to get to Watson Lake. So an easy day. Hopefully we'll miss these thunderstorms. Things did clear up and allow me to get into Watson Lake, well, at least semi-dry. So I'm about an hour outside of Watson Lake right now. Stopped at a little rest area here. I think I can remove my lobster claws for now, but thank goodness I had these, because I just rode through a good thunderstorm back there. But so far, so good. Said lots of rain the first part of this day. But I see some blue sky up here. But I know the thunderstorms are rolling into Watson Lake this afternoon. The forecast was for the thunderstorms to move in about 2 o'clock. So my plan was to get to Watson Lake just before those storms arrived. I made it here to Watson Lake about 2 o'clock, which is what I was hoping to do. And the reason for that is because, well, let me turn around and show you. See that right out there? Yeah. That's some thunderstorms that they're supposed to be having here all through the rest of this evening. So I wanted to be in here before those hit. So I got in here a little bit early today. So I'll just, you know, do what I can around here, relax, read a little bit, and then get on the road again tomorrow. So everything's good. I don't know what else I want to say. And those thunderstorms rolled in right on time. And just as those winds picked up, a few other bikers rolled in seeking shelter. And after the storms let up, well, I went next door to grab some dinner. So good morning. It's about 6:30. I've actually been awake since about 5:30, but you know, I don't need to go anywhere quickly today. I've got a fairly short day, just a couple hours up the road. So I'm gonna lay around here in bed for a little bit longer. Oh, so I guess it is time to get up. So I'm going to head over and grab some breakfast, and then we'll just kind of have a leisurely morning until it's time to get out of here. I see a few more bikes pulled in last night. Raining already. While I was eating breakfast, I saw this couple pulling out. They were both on Royal Enfield Himalayas. Man, those little bikes were loaded down. Looks like I was in store for more rain. It's rather busy here today at the little restaurant here, Andrea's. A lot of people on the road, a lot of bikes here this morning. I think most of them are heading north, it seems. But everybody's heading out. So hopefully this will clear up. I see some sunshine going there. I don't have to be out of here for another 2 hours or so. So again, I'm just going to relax and take care of some business, and then we'll hit on the road. Well, the puddles from last night's rain were still there, but at least it wasn't raining when I left. But I had this feeling that it wasn't going to last for very long. It wasn't very far up the road until my intuition was proved correct. It started raining and pretty much stayed that way all the way into Liard Hot Springs. The herd of bison that normally hangs out around Liard Hot Springs was out on the road, just as it was when I passed through 7 years ago with Peter and Stephen. But this time, unfortunately, the rain did not make for very good pictures. It was damp and pretty busy as I pulled into Liard Hot Springs Lodge and Campground. Now, I was there about 12:30, which was way early to check in. But even if I had to wait, it would be better than being in the rain. So now I am at Liard Hot Springs. I got here a little early, like I said. I only had a couple hours to go, so it was just before 1 when I got here. I got some lunch and I had to wait around for, I don't know, an hour and a half before I could check into my room. But I finally got in there, so now I am walking back to the hot springs. It's it's wet, cold today, but this is going to feel good once I get there. So after going to the hot springs, I didn't feel like a full dinner, but I heard they have good carrot cake here, and I'm a sucker for carrot cake.
The carrot cake was pretty good. It was dense and moist, and it was different than I'm used to. This was made with maple syrup and a little cinnamon. If you want to go to Liard Hot Springs and you don't want to camp, the inn is a good choice of places to stay. The rooms are comfortable and clean, and they have a nice restaurant there with good food. But I would book ahead because space is limited. Up next in part 7, I head back into the United States, have my bike serviced, and have a couple of interesting experiences on the Lewis and Clark Highway.